This is Appalling News. I'm Paul Chatto. And as always, if you want something extra appalling with cheese, always start on the left coast of Canada in British Columbia, the province that gave overweight women Lululemon. Brent Kennedy Elementary in Crescent Valley, West Kootenays had a pizza party for Indigenous students only. It was promoted as an inclusive pizza party because there is nothing more inclusive than excluding most of the school. When parents found out about this non-inclusive inclusive pizza event, one offered to buy pizza for all the students. But Principal Jen Kuznetsov, whose Indigenous Doukhobor name translates to blacksmith from the Russian steppes, responded that this will not be permitted because it has the potential to create division and make it look like the Indigenous Pizza Day lacked inclusiveness. Wouldn't want anyone thinking an event that lacked inclusiveness lacked inclusiveness. But let's examine further this celebration of the Indigenous Pizza Party. Not many people know the important history of pizza to the Indigenous in Canada. Pemmican pizza was a staple. Pizzas by the thousands were chased by the Plains people and rolled over the cliffs to their deaths in Alberta at head-smashed-in pizza jump, as you can see from this World Heritage Site. The Métis of Manitoba were famous for delivering pizzas using their Red River carts. 3 days or it's free. And what Iroquois parents from the 18th century didn't fondly remember taking their entire family to Pizza Longhouse? Back to the center of Canada's universe, called Toronto, the Toronto District School Board, apparatchiks that would have given Stalin a run for his rubles, have an after-school basketball program. And you guessed it, it's available to black students only. Because when you think of all school activities that include academics and sports, the one thing we can all agree on is that basketball is shockingly lacking in black student participation. If this was a hockey program or rowing, then this would have made more sense to us. As it stands, if the TDSB really wanted to make this basketball program diverse and inclusive, the British have the worst basketball teams in the world. Next time, try making it only available to pasty-skinned Welsh lads. Trans activists suddenly want to be victims of Nazis. It wasn't enough to beat up on biological women in sports. Now it seems the activists want to claim their tiny corner of the Jewish Holocaust. Apparently, there are now claims that trans people were persecuted by the Nazis. Persecution requires actual numbers of people to be persecuted. The first trans clinic, the Institute for Sexual Research in Berlin, was ransacked by the Nazis who burned thousands of books, including documents on attempts at grafting vaginas onto men, always ending in death. Take the hint. The Scientific American article does not indicate where the vaginas were sourced. Perhaps Scientific American should finally retire the scientific part of their name. And why now? World War II ended in 1945. Haven't heard a peep until recently. Perhaps it's because the queer theory mobsters have suffered several major losses. Puberty blockers banned in every sane jurisdiction in the world except Canada. The closing of the Tavistock Gender Clinic in Britain for experimenting on children. Sports organizations finally banning male bodies from women's sports, except Canada. The Cass Review, and now the WPATH scandal. Is this a last-ditch effort to gain sympathy by attaching itself to a horrific event? As the offspring of a Holocaust survivor, my mum, and a father who hid in a forest cutting down murdered Jews, gypsies, and gay men who were hung in trees by the SS as a warning to collaborators, neither had a lot of time to sort out who were actually trans. The Nazis, of course, did sort out who was who using this chart at the death camps. Jews wore the yellow Star of David, gay men a pink triangle, and gypsies a brown triangle. There are no trans, triangles, parallelograms, or rhomboids in this collection. Most of us hear this stupid shit and just hope it goes away. The problem is that it's not going away. The solution is not intolerance, but for everyone to just say no. This has been Appalling News, and that's the way it is.